So I already have my classroom set up. So I'm already ready to go. What I want to do next is add my Bitmoji. So this is the one I'm going to use. Place it in my room. And then I'm going to size it down just a bit. So I'm just going to size it down. And if you right click, you will see rotate. I'm going to flip mine horizontally. And then I'm going to move it far off the page to start with. So I will need to scroll back a little bit. There we go. And then move my Bitmoji all the way off. I'm going to move her all the way off, so just her fingers on, so I have a starting point. And you're going to go up to the slide and click on that so it's highlighted. You're going to hit Control C and then Control V. That will copy and then paste. So that's Control C and then Control V. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight my Bitmoji, hit Shift and the arrow key, and then I'm just going to arrow over. I think I hit it 20 times on this one. And then I repeat the process. Control C, Control V, copy paste, highlight the Bitmoji, click Shift, arrow key over. And you can see when I arrow key over, she moves. So copying and pasting puts your very last screen into the next slide, and then you just move the Bitmoji over. So I'm going to continue that until I get her out into a space where I want to change the Bitmoji. Now you can just move the Bitmoji over with the cursor, but I find if you use Shift and the arrow, it stays in line, so it doesn't move up and down on the floor. It keeps the same horizontal line going across the screen. So again, for this one, I did 20 taps on the arrow key. You can do less than that, so it's a lot smoother. So here I'm just rotating. So that's right clicking, going to rotate, flip horizontal. And then again, Control C, Control V to copy paste, highlight the Bitmoji, and arrow key over. I'm going to rotate her back again and move her, arrow key over. This does take some time. There should be anywhere from 50 to 95 to 100 slides. The more slides you do, the smoother the animation will be. I did this one pretty fast just for the tutorial. And then I just wanted to make sure that I got her center before I changed the Bitmoji. So I am going to skip ahead a little bit here. I'm going to change the Bitmoji. So I want to line them up, make sure that they're the same size, and make sure the head and feet line up. And then once I do that, I'm going to delete the first Bitmoji. And if you don't know how to get things to go forward and backward, you can Control arrow key down, just like I did there, and put that in front. Then click on the Bitmoji. Yeah, there we go. Click on the one that's in front, and then we can delete that one. So I did Control X. You can also right click and hit delete. Then again, I'm going to highlight and shift and arrow key over. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. I did do all my slides till she got to the middle, and this is where I'm going to change the pose. I'm going to rotate her to stay in the same direction, and then I'm going to line her up again. So I'm making sure the feet and head line up and that the body's the same size. You don't have to do that. Your Bitmoji can grow big and grow small if you want them to. Not a problem. So then I Control down key, that will bring the other one forward. Wasn't the right size that I wanted, so I fixed it a bit. This one I believe I right clicked, then deleted. So because I want her to stay in that same position, I am going to copy and paste the same slide 3 times. So if you do 0.1 seconds, she'll stay there for 3 seconds. I do 0.2 seconds. I'll show you how to do that later. But again, I copy and paste the same slide 3 times. Then I rotate her to the other side. So she's staying in the same position. The body's just flipping. So again, Control C, Control V, that's copy paste. And make sure that your slide is highlighted when you do that. Right click, you can rotate, flip. So if you want to be on the ceiling, you can. And again, I'm copying the same slide so that she's facing that direction. And I'm ready to flip her one more time and copy that slide 3 more times. Oops, copied the Bitmoji. There we go. Alright, so now I am ready to add another Bitmoji. Gonna line them up. So you always want to face them in the direction that you want them, because sometimes if you do it after you delete the first Bitmoji, you see that the placement is off. Okay, then again, shift and arrow over. Oh, I may have copied first, then moved her over. And then I did that till she moved over just a tiny bit before I added a new Bitmoji. Again, I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit. Now I'm going to add another Bitmoji. Again, flipping it first. Make sure it lines up. Delete the old one. So if you haven't done this, I think most of you have. If you haven't done this and you want to add pictures or you want to create your room, you go to Insert, Images, Search Web, and you always want to make sure you put the word transparent when you're looking for things to add to your room. So I'm looking for a paint image I can use. I can use these splatters. I was looking for something just a little bit more colorful. So all of these images should be transparent, meaning you should not have to crop it. If you do have Photoshop, you can go into Photoshop, create your image, save it to your computer, and then where it says Insert, Upload from Computer. So that's an option too. I did do that in my original classroom, but not for this video. So I'm adding the image, and it's in front of the paint, and then again that Control arrow down, we'll put it behind my Bitmoji, just like that. Place it where I want it. Then shift on my Bitmoji. Copy and paste and keep shifting. Alright, so I did skip ahead just because this video is already long. I'm going to add my final Bitmoji. Line her up. I am going to add a word bubble. If you go to add-ons, you can use Extensis fonts. That's where I get my handwriting fonts from. And there's plenty of other add-ons too that you can use. So I'm going to skip through that right to the word bubble. So then I also have an add-on called Creator Studio. So when you go to add-ons, you'll see Creator Studio. It's going to ask you about the pixels. If you go to File and Page Setup, if I can get the mouse to work. So Page Setup, then go to Custom, then change your inches to pixels. You'll be able to see what your pixels are. So mine are set at 960. And that's what I'm going to type in my pixels box. So instead of 300 pixels, I'm going to put 960. Then they have it set at 2 seconds per frame. You can do 0.1 or 0.2. I'm going to set this one at 0.2. Scroll down just a little bit. I am going to do a video file, MP4. And then hit go. It doesn't take too long to process. Sometimes it takes a couple seconds, sometimes it takes a couple minutes, depending on how many slides you have. So that one's finished, and now I'll show you what it looks like. But first, don't forget to hit the download button before you do that. And here is my animated Bitmoji. I hope that was helpful.